thank you, Wayne, and thanks for the invitation to come today. I didn't have to think about it because I've been a trade unionist all of my life. For the last 3 years of my working career, I was a full-time convener for Unison, and I'm pleased to see that colleagues from the Durham TAs are here today, and they have my unqualified support. But I am a Labour councillor, and I make no apologies for that. But I'm pleased to say that there are some things that rise above party politics, and the Trades Council is certainly one of those things. In the room today are two people who both stood against a Labour candidate in the last general election, Dave Gibson, the Secretary, and Michael Short, one of my former colleagues. And I'm pleased to say that both of them are good friends of mine, and I regard them as comrades. But we're here today to talk about the fight for a real living wage of £10 an hour. Now, what does that mean? Why is it important in Barnsley? Now, Barnsley Council publish a document periodically called the Joint Strategic Needs Assessment, and it pulls together statistics from all government and local government sources. And it clearly shows that wages in Barnsley are not only below the national average, but they're below the regional average as well. Barnsley is really at the bottom of the pile when it comes to wages. And the importance of that is because of the impact that has on our community and on our people. Because if people have low wages, they tend to live in poverty. 25% of children in Barnsley are living in poverty. Now, poverty is a relative thing, but it exists, and it is real, and it has real effects. And it has impacts on things like health. It has impacts on how long we live. Surprise, surprise, people in Barnsley live less longer than people in the south of England. Surprise, surprise, that if you take a bus from Penistone to the Dearn, your average life expectancy falls by 7 years. Yeah? These things are real and have a real impact. So why do we need £10 a week? £10 an hour. What is that? Well, it's roughly £400 a week. It's about £19,500 a year. And it got me wondering, what could you buy for £400? And I don't know if you all know, but there's been a recent dispute between the Ritz Hotel in London and the Ritz Ballroom in Brighouse. And the Ritz Hotel was saying that the Ritz Ballroom, which has been going for almost 100 years, had no right to use the name the Ritz. So there was a bit of a battle about that. So that got me wondering, and I went on the Ritz Hotel website. Well, guess what? For £400, you can get one night in a deluxe king room. You won't get any food, but you'll have a lovely room. And whilst I was on the Ritz website, something else caught my eye. Because remember, £400 a week, £10 an hour equates to about £19,500 a year. And something caught my eye on their website, and I scrolled down to the bottom. And there was an advert there for this year's Wimbledon men's semi-final. And if you like, the Ritz will provide you with bed, breakfast and evening meal for 2 nights. They'll give you 2 tickets to the men's semi-final. You'll have sky view hospitality whilst you're there, vintage champagne, butler service for lunch, 4-course lunch, and this will set you back £16,400. Now, this fight is about social justice in our society. We cannot continue to live in a society where inequality gets greater and greater every year. Things are going in the wrong direction. The rich are getting richer, the poor are getting poorer. And it's not just that, but social justice also means that everyone shares the burden. Yeah? We have large corporations which are evading their tax. I'm a bit of a nerd when it comes to figures, and I like going on the Companies House website, and you can find out amazing information on the Companies House website. A couple of years ago, the Barnsley Council was proposing to engage with a couple of construction companies, and I did some research on them. And the thing about companies nowadays is they have a tremendously complicated structure, but on the Companies House website you can find out who the ultimate beneficial owner is of each company. And as I went further and further up the tree, I found myself going around Europe, going around Crete, Cyprus, and for one of these companies, I ended up in Jersey as the ultimate beneficial owner, and the other one I ended up in the British Virgin Islands. Now guess what? Guess what the tax rates are there compared to the tax rates here? In my own ward at the moment, I've got an issue with a pub which is causing bother. That's owned by a chain of pubs. I did the same thing for them. Going up the chain, the complicated chain of company structures, and where did I end up? An entity in the Cayman Islands. So people in my ward are spending money in a pub. The profits are going there because none of those companies that I looked at paid any UK tax. They had a statement in their annual accounts. Amount of UK tax paid, yeah. So it was all being diverted to the Cayman Islands. So we have to fight for social justice. We have to fight for reality. We have to fight to make sure that we end the scourge of poverty and the impact that it has, because it affects people's health. In Barnsley, we have 15,000 people who are diabetic. We have 30,000 people who are obese. We have large numbers of people with chronic diseases, multiple chronic diseases. We have 9,170 pensioners who are claiming pensioner credit because they struggle to live. I go to Tesco's to do my shopping, and every week I put something in the box for the local food bank. It's an appalling disgrace that in the 21st century, people are having to beg for food. And I don't claim any credit for anything. My contribution was minimal. But I'm reminded of what Bob Crow once said. It's pointless spitting at employers, but if we all spit together, we can drive them.